Excellent. Wonderful, y'all. Let me just turn this ringer down. Alright, beautiful. Cast a spell. Welcome to the show. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Here's my spot, Monday morning. I'm Aries Bookman, psycho-spiritual consultant, practicing life empath occultist. At this point, what do those things even mean, It's an actual question, but whatever. Here, this is what I want to talk about today, and I'll probably just jump right into it. Look, there you go, right? There's like 3 lanes. Anyways, there are a lot of different spiritual frameworks. There are a lot of different people who are interested in this. Dawson, good to see you. Welcome to the show. There are a lot of different people who would like to start teaching and presenting this information so that they can share it with others and wake up others. Kaiju Creator, good to see you in the chat. Nice name. Just because I mention it doesn't mean, are you saying something's wrong with that? No. Slow down, kiddo. Yeah, there are a lot of different people presenting, and sometimes it can be difficult to understand. Even more difficult to understand when you don't understand. So I want to give some basic fundamentals that I consistently give in the guild. And even if I give them for months on end, it's still missed. So, me, it's my continuous journey to find ways of making this even more simple. Even though some of that may not be me being unclear, because I speak plain English. I don't use any special words from another language. I don't use ambiguous words. I don't use large words that are specific about physics or biology. So you'd think it'd be simple, but it's something else. So I want to kind of jump into that a little bit today. Yeah. Rocky, good to see you in the chat. Side of Ejects, welcome to the show. You're standing on F. You look very refreshed. Actually, I kind of woke up pretty nice. It was smooth. I won't even lie. It was kind of smooth. Yeah, I'm having an interesting and nice morning. Very, very demure. Look, give niggas a dictionary and look at one word. Fuck out of here. All right, let's go. That's what happens when you meet me. Nobody liked that part. I just feel like I'm in chaos. There's so much to do. Yeah, I know. I'm making fun of you. I know. Why can't I just make fun of you? So you're not helping me. You'd be surprised. I'm not helping you because I'm making fun of you? No, that's not the case. It's not the case. It's not the case that I'm not helping you because I'm making fun of you. Oh, welcome to the show. Wait, why do I have that screen up? That's the wrong screen. Here, hold on. There we go. Alright, Joe. Welcome to the show, man. We got some other people in here. Shad. Alright, welcome to the show, Shad. I don't know if I've seen you before, but either way, welcome to the show, Shad. That was why I had this screen on. I can make it work. Rocky, still fixing my boat. Timon times two. Good to see you. Some of us is a lifetime. And look, don't feel like it's just you. For everyone, this is a lifetime. That's kind of the point of the whole thing. I do understand sitting in here in these other chat rooms, right? It'll look like the other people in the room have this deeper understanding than you. Um, Very rarely is that actually the case. I was watching someone else's live, and like, man, every single thing that hit the chat, this motherfucker said facts, and I'm just like, God, what is the subconscious mind after it's been corresponded with the 0 point energy of the heart chakra? It's like, facts. Look, we're gonna get to that today. You know, like, you're never gonna get to that because that's gibberish. You just think you're just so cool. I'm not. I can tell you I'm not. But, and I really want to get to why that's gibberish. In the guild, one of the cohorts, he very briefly, within one of the sessions, mostly because I asked, and he's not the only person who's had the same experience, was talking about working with some of the previous teachers he's had in this field, spirituality, the occult, right? And how not only would his previous teacher not challenge what he was saying, excuse me, but on a certain level, he didn't want his teacher to challenge him. Well, he didn't want to have to think that. But, some of y'all will be surprised how much your rebellion is really most all of this work that you're doing. Now, I didn't say the work is about rebellion. I said most of what you're doing is rebellion. Rebelling against religion and religious people. I don't know how often I hear motherfuckers frame it as though religious people are the ones who are messing up. I tell you right now, bruh, religious people are doing the work. They're just doing a different work. It's like being a race car driver and looking down on the people who are in the stands because they don't know how to do that left turn all day. It's just really about, you got to get in there, you turn left, right? Like, they just don't get it. But they're not here to do that. As a matter of fact, if anybody's here to do that, it's you. So they're not doing, look, the audience is not doing something wrong for drinking beers and eating corn dogs. That's what they're there to do. Oh, Dickie, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. I'm sorry, I'm getting much better at not being as much of a dick about this as I want to. God, I want to. But here's what we're going to do, okay? I want to be able to set you up to look at any framework, to listen to anyone's framework, and be able to see the pieces, the components, to actually figure out what argument they're making. God, you cannot imagine how furious I am underneath all of this. Fuck. Okay. So yeah, you go to the you click the little link, you get to the details. This will be here. I'm actually going to be updating this a little more. Not so much taking too many things out, rearranging a few things, making it look a little nicer. But what I'm going to do is I'll give you one of the ones that I've already updated, okay? Now, and this is the big part of this, guys. 0 point energy, okay? That's physics. Spirituality is not giving you some secret knowledge about physics. Some secret hidden knowledge about physics. It's not giving you secret knowledge about biology, DNA, melanin, metabolism. I'm surprised niggas ain't started spiritualizing ATP yet. It's not giving you secret hidden knowledge. Okay? Or the idea that, you know, those people back in the past didn't know what we know. And now that we know what we know, we can know the real secret of what they were talking about. Even though they knew, they just didn't know. Shino Kai, welcome to the show. Side Ejects. Yep, some. Christians, etc., are definitely doing the work and probably more consistently than most of us. Bro, I would deeply agree. See, when the audience comes to the racetrack, the NASCAR racetrack, and they get their beers, they get their corn dog. I don't know what you eat at NASCAR. I'm pulling out of my ass what's in my head. I have no idea. But look, they get their beer and their corn dog. They put on the... Do you have jerseys in NASCAR? I guess you have jerseys in NASCAR, right? They put on their NASCAR jersey. They're doing the work. See, it's not the same work as a motherfucker down there on the track. And the person's work on the track isn't to wake up the audience members so that they become NASCAR drivers. And we're all driving down. We're all doing the work. Mm-mm. For most, this work, like there are metaphysics where there's things like reincarnation. And in those metaphysics, people are doing the work throughout lifetimes. So, Timon, it's not just, it's going to take me a whole lifetime. Depending on the metaphysics you're using, it may be multiple lifetimes. Even with Christianity, in some respects, there's the ideas that even after death, there's more work to do. This isn't secret knowledge about the shape of the planet. I'm getting closer to the place where I'm very much trying to avoid calling people idiots. Because I get why they're doing what they're doing, but it doesn't make it less dumb. See, why can't I teach by insulting you? I think it's funny. Cookie quadruple 3 morning pimp. Oh wow. Hey man, I feel that's nice. Thank you. I could have been a pimp. I got the wordplay for it. I could have been a pimp. I don't have the fashion style to have been a pimp though. Like these are my hats. Like it's got little horns on it. I could have been a pimp with that shit. But yeah, so these aren't talking about secret knowledge about the brain. These spiritual systems aren't talking about secret knowledge about the brain. Secret knowledge about oil in your back. Secret knowledge about energy. Right? That's a popular one. Energy. They're not talking about energy. And the biggest misconception there is about how you already think. With a lot of people going through the process of self-initiation, or basically, if you ask me, just skipping their initiation altogether or failing, it's like somebody coming in a house that didn't wipe their feet. You can tell what's going to happen. Somebody walks in your house and didn't wipe their shoes. You can see the signs. Now, if that person just wants to walk in the house, it's like, wiping your shoes is unnecessary. You don't have to wipe your shoes to get in the house. Well, you're not wrong, but in a very specific way, you're not right. And that very specific way makes sense. I don't have to be initiated. Okay, well, go make your own systems. Well, no, I want to use the lower banishing ritual, and I have a chalice and a pentagram and a wand and an thame or a thame. I don't necessarily know how you pronounce it, to be completely honest. Like, it's not as just as simple as going through the motions. And that's what a lot of people are doing, is they're looking for the motions. You have to challenge how you're thinking, not what you're thinking. It's not as simple as having the semantic proposition, the words. Don't be fancy, Arius. I'm trying to be concise, okay? It's not as simple as having the statement that everything is God. I'm God and you're God and we're all God, having God's experience. It feels really good to say. Especially when you're trying to mask your self-hate, things like that. No, Arius, I don't hate myself. I love myself. Really, I'm a piece of shit. I think I'd know. Whatever, though, right? I want to give you the basics here. You're trying to teach a kid how to ride a bike, and they only want to ride the bike because they saw a BMX tournament, right? And they're like, show me how to do a double 360 backflip. And it's like, okay, well, get those training wheels, put the helmet on and the pads, and I'm gonna hold the back of the bike for you. No, I'm beyond that. I'm above that. No, you need to get the fundamentals. Or some motherfuckers, right? And this is the funny thing. But I've seen it in different places. When I say funny, I don't mean haha funny. I mean funny as a that's weird. Okay, anyway. Instead of rising to the level of actually learning that 360 double backflip, they'll reduce all tricks to the most basic thing, and then do the basic thing and claim to be on the same level as the advanced person. Well, that person who's doing bike tricks is just trying to act cool. Really, all you need to do is know how to ride the bike, and you're the same. And that's wrong. It's very wrong. I mean, technically, yes, they're riding the bike, so you're right about that. But you're wrong in a very specific way. If you're learning this stuff to rebel against religion, to show those religious people, to be better than them, to be different than them, you've missed it. It can be very simple, but you're gonna miss it, and you're gonna get bad feedback. Team NASCAR had asked. So I should probably use something I know, but that was the first thing that popped into my head, and it was the example I usually use. Plushie pimp. I don't know. You're opening up possibilities here. I appreciate that. Good to see you in the chat, man. You don't have to wipe your shoes on my floor. It's on my floor. My floor is your floor. Ugh. No. So you don't do that, right? No, I wouldn't do that. Hey, man, my floor is your floor. Is that dog shit? Get in here. We're not even gonna talk. Get in here. Fuck out of here, guys. Okay. So, let's keep it simple, okay? I made this so simple, but no. This is the last thing I have to say. I have to say this. And it goes back to what Timon was saying. Oh, Marshad, I didn't even see you in there. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. I don't know how I missed that. Um, Look, this is the big thing here, okay, guys? Um, this work is a lifetime. I don't sit here because I'm done. I don't sit here and do this because I'm done. Hell, if there were people out here actually doing the research, like everyone says, I'd find no reason to open my mouth. I really. And this is why the process of initiation is so important. And you have to be that much more dedicated to it for yourself if you're self-initiating. Like the research. Like challenging when you don't understand something. Pushing up against the boundaries of your understanding. I don't know how many times I'll say metaphysics and you won't look up the word. You won't challenge the word. Some people think just watching these videos is doing the research. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's to begin pointing you in a direction to start doing that. God, I'm being so nice about it. I'm not going to get any credit for that, though, because I made fun of you 10 minutes ago. Whatever. All right. Guys, look. Here. This is the secret to being able to understand any system someone's giving you. This is the most crucial part. Okay. Well, it's the most crucial tool. The most crucial part is even comprehending what a system is. See, when you're looking at these things through the frame of this is hidden knowledge and I'm learning the real truth, that's bullshit. Because you don't know what a system is. You know, you may hear some Sanskrit words. God, that was going to piss me off. Like, okay, let's do this. Watch. Because I'm so serious. Like, I'll be open about how I could be manipulating you. I don't want you to trust me. I really don't. I want you to learn how to challenge your own thinking. There's some people who don't trust their own thinking, and some people who really shouldn't. What is this? I don't want that. Give me spooky names. Okay, look at that. Right? Boom. Let's look. Ajna. Never heard the word. Vishuddhara. Vishuddha. Anahata. Manipura. I can tell you that means anything. Like, you're lucky I have the nice little correspondence chart here. I can tell you that means anything. And if you're not willing to actually research it, you may as well be back at Christianity. Muladhara. Ooh, right? Now see, bro, I speak English. I don't don't speak no fancy language. And motherfuckers still don't get they don't get. But it's okay. So let's do this, guys, okay? First and foremost, what is a system? What are these religious systems? Okay? They're models of reality. They're models. Even the idea of atoms. See, the concept of atoms aren't necessarily discovered. Atoms aren't discovered. They're postulated. What's that mean, Aries? Well, you have dictionaries you can look up in your fucking pocket. No, I mean, you gotta, okay, no, it's fine, I speak English. Fuck. To assume or claim is true, existent or necessary. Okay? The idea of atoms is postulated. Like, you can look at the development for the theory of gravity. Now, I'm not saying theory to say, haha, they don't know the real truth. No. There are problems with considering what you're saying ultimate truth. There's no such thing. Because there's no context. Because ultimate truth. The word ultimate is qualifying truth. Okay? But in order for that qualification to have any standing, any substance, there needs to be framing. Like, look, if I'm saying a tall man, right? Tall is invoking small. Like, there's framing there. Ultimate truth, that qualification, there's framing there. It's not just the truth. So yeah, atoms postulated. Gravity postulated. I'm not saying there is no reality to it. I'm pointing to what is a system. It's not that the old systems didn't know what we know. It's not that the old systems were giving you metaphors for what we know now. No. What you're called to do, and especially in initiation, is to re-examine how it is you think. And just claiming that you've been lied to about biology and physics isn't reshaping how you think. 0-point energy? And this nigga said facts. Like, the motherfucker said facts to that. Guys, this isn't about physics, okay? Physics, here, let me show you this too. Put this picture up, because you need pictures while I say things. Things like what we know of the natural sciences today, okay? Physicalism. Materialism, I'm not saying being materialistic is in wanting a lot of things, even though that can be an issue. It's a particular metaphysics that postulates different ideas or concepts to frame the world. Okay? This is part of why sometimes people will want you to, well, explain this in terms of energy. Well, that goes back to physics. See, if I'm talking to you about metaphysics, I'm not going to be explaining it to you in terms of energy. Melanin, DNA, magnetosphere, Schumann resonance. You could get those explained to you in terms of physics. But metaphysics isn't fancy physics, isn't spooky physics. These spiritual systems are they're describing to you the metaphysics of the people that they come from. Look. People are familiar with the Egyptian pantheon, right? Look, these are not metaphors for things in physics, things in the brain of your physical body. That's wrong. The eye of Horus is an eye, not because of structure. Oh my God. It's an eye because of the seeing. The seeing. What is sight? Me just saying it slower isn't gonna make that land. That's hilarious. Like, this is why I talk about what does the cult mean? Hidden culture. No, it's not hidden. It's not hidden. It's not hidden, sweetie. It's unapparent. It's unapparent. The prefix "oc" as in ocular. It's about sight. So you have to challenge what sense of the word you're using. Like, okay, let's do this. Like, let's say you're talking about some trauma you had with your parents, and you're thinking, okay, well, really, on some level, I kind of wish my parents could see me. What do you mean? I'm not telling you it's wrong. But you're not talking about eyeballs. Someone's showing you a mathematical equation on the board, and you can see the equation, but you say, "Excuse me, teacher," because you guys never admit to not understanding. You just go, "Excuse me, teacher, I don't quite see the connection." What are you pointing to when you say "I don't see the connection"? Not eyeballs. Your eyeballs can see the fucking equation written on the board. You're talking about something else. Metaphysics. Beyond, above physics. Okay? These artifacts are the things that the initiate would know in the physical world are used as symbols. The symbol is pointing to something else. It's pointing to something beyond physics, beyond the physical. Metaphysics. 0-point energy? No. Pineal gland? No. Remember, it's pointing to something beyond the physical. Pineal glands are physical. So then what exists, right? What's real? Like I've said before, real is a philosophical concept. True, philosophical concept. What's real is specifically an ontological concept. Here, let me look it up for you. You gotta chew a baby's food. Because look, you can, it's, not only is it a simple web search away, but because you're doing the self-initiation thing and you don't have a master guiding you, right? You have to be able to challenge your understanding of this on your own. God, I hate how they teach y'all. Check, facts, guys. That's great. That's great. Oh, wow, yeah, no, it's wrong. Fuck. Could you explain the symbols on the diagram you last had up? The Egyptian pantheon? Can I explain the symbols on the Egyptian pantheon? Like in what sense? Or was it the chakra one? Because I don't know when you type that. I do apologize. But to keep it very basic, guys. Like, look. for the people in Egypt, in Kemet, in the Nile Valley, right? Things like crocodiles, hippos, hawks, and an ibis. An ibis. Do you know what an ibis is? No, on the one you made. Oh, I didn't say it yet, did I? My apologies. Look, first of all, I'm going to get to that. these animals were used as symbols. Like, there's a reason they didn't use a penguin in the Egyptian pantheon, because they wouldn't have understood that. For the people that system was made for, they wouldn't have understood it. It wouldn't have made any sense. Here, let me do this for you guys. Because I need to do this. All right, yeah. No problem. Got you, Zeno Kai. In the Bookman model, this is a state of being called default dead. It's the precursor to the idea of going within. Yeah, I know y'all hear that a lot. As a directive from your teachers. Do I have to look up directive? Sorry, that was upsetting. As instructions from your teachers. Go within. It's all within. Go within. Knowledge of self. See, everyone can agree with knowledge of self until I say, hey, what is you? Excuse me. What are we looking at here, okay? Most of what we have to do for people today is, and this is why I say about how you think, is you have to get out of the metaphysics of materialism. Previous metaphysics, especially the metaphysics that the people who had these systems were using, they weren't what physicalism is. Physicalism cuts out the experimenter, the observer, okay? And on a certain level, you can kind of understand why that's the case, all right? But just to explain what default dead is, I'm going to come back to this in a second. Default dead is the precursor to going within. First, Brandon's focus on the physical body and the physical world, but to go within, you turn your attention away from it, all right? But anyways, the metaphysics, okay? Because this is the crucial part. This is part of what you were getting in the initiation, is the metaphysics. Like, you look at the lower banishing ritual, right? The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And you skip to, okay, how do I do the ritual? Well, the ritual's not going to work if you haven't adopted their metaphysics. Because the ritual is made for that metaphysics. You give somebody who's living in the Arctic the Egyptian pantheon and tell them the Egyptian ritual, they can't adopt that pantheon. That pantheon doesn't make sense. This motherfucker in the snow, like, what the hell is a hippopotamus? You have to adopt the metaphysics. And you guys trying to reduce this stuff to something in the physical body, it's like, look, when someone doesn't wipe their shoes on the floor, you can tell. For the physicalism, and this is the one on the left, okay? For the materialist perspective, all there is physical. So these models that are postulating things like atoms, cells, right? All of your physics, all of your biology. These are models that frame reality as only physical. And I know some people would like to say, well, I can They just missed this part and I can add it. No, it's literally made to be that way. Like, there's nothing that you can add to bleach to make it conducive to life. It's made not to be. These what people are used to calling scientific ideas. I'm not saying they're not, but most people don't think scientifically. Like, it's a scientific method. If there's a method, there's an underlying ontology and epistemology. I know it feels good to call this stuff a science, and I won't say it's not a science, but age of information, you kind of want to know what a science is. Most of what people know today is science, is physicalism. And it's not to say it's wrong. It's not to say it's wrong. But it's not made to do what people want to do with it. Your DNA, your Schumann resonance, magnetosphere, melanin, metabolism, various glands and spinal cord. These frameworks are not made to do that. You could literally do what you want to do with almost any other metaphysics. Like, okay, if I can't culture bacteria in a cup of bleach, well, where else could I culture bacteria? Damn near any other surface. But you can't do it with bleach. Materialism is bleach. Physicalism is bleach. Okay, Arius, well, tell me the new metaphysics I need to adopt. First of all, damn near any other metaphysics. But second, and this is the big part, you can't let the old one go unless you understand how you're holding on to it. Babies, right? They have to learn that this little body, this little thing they see moving is them. Okay? They have to learn that. You ever seen a little baby grab a finger? It's a reaction. It's like a physical reaction. It's not, oh, there's a finger, let me grab it. Like, there's no that. The nipple gets near the mouth and it just, right? You put anything near a baby's mouth and it's gonna, because it's a physical reaction. So you have to understand how you're attached to the thing. And the way that you're attached to it is how you're framing the world. Okay, so physicalism, there on the left, right? Brandon is focused on this, the physical body. So the circle with the X in it, physical body. The rectangle with the X in it, the physical world. He's completely focused on it. If you ask a physicist, they'll and this is actually an argument within scientific circles. We need to do away with metaphysics. It's like, no, you can't, because it's substantiating, it's supporting, it is underlying everything you're talking about. The only people who say get rid of metaphysics don't know philosophy. You can't get rid of metaphysics. Just like you can't stop believing things. Well, I only know, I don't believe. No. That's something you believe. That you only know. It's like motherfuckers saying there's no such thing as truth. Well, is that true? Philosophy is thinking about your thinking. Metaphysics is philosophy. This is the key right here, okay? If you can understand this, you can unpack any system. You can unpack any system. I'm not saying that for clickbait. Although I know there's a lot of motherfuckers that'll do that shit, right? I'm not saying it for clickbait. This is why in the guild, I always start out with this. I always start out with the existential essentials every session. So much you're going to get annoyed at me doing it. Because when you understand this shit, you can unpack any of it. So, I'm going to go over this. I'm going to spend... Has it already been an hour? Are you serious? Wow. I'm a piece of shit, man. I'm going to go over this today, okay? And I'm going to take my time with it. Because I already think I take my time. My frustration is unending. Here, I'm going to play this real quick. Because I really love to. I fucking love this video. But, look, when I play this, please, just, even if it's just for a moment, I want you to contemplate, hey, maybe he's talking about me. Not because I get to just say, look, Aries just wants to be better than me. Like, are you good at anything? Like, that's an actual question. Like, maybe you're good with cars. Okay? You're better than me. Maybe you're good at cooking. You're better than me. Uh-oh. You're good at a martial art? You're better than me. Good in the gym? You're better than me. See, now, if you're somebody who's not good at anything, that hurts. If you're someone who's never developed competence in anything, that hurts. But that's not, I can't fix that. You can. Well, it's going to take too long. Well, then maybe you can't. Sorry. I want you to postulate that he is talking about you. Do not think of the ways that this does not apply to you. That's how you bullshit yourself. Immediately, find the ways that this applies to you. Please, please, I implore you. Not just for me, for you. Because your other teachers are just going to say, facts, check, to everything you say. Could you imagine going to fucking school to learn algebra, right? And no matter what the fuck you said, the teacher just said check. Now, mind you, you'd feel good, you feel smart. You feel like you're doing a good job. Would you be learning? No. Excuse me, teacher. So are you saying the hypotenuse angle of an elephant's ass is the x variable? I just made that. I've heard the word hypotenuse. I can't tell you what it means. Yes, check. Facts. And then you're going to walk out the door thinking you did something. You said something. That you ready to teach algebra. I mean, everything you said, the teacher was like, facts. So, I mean, damn, you must be ready. Right? Mm-mm. You need someone to challenge what you're saying. That's half the fucking reason I'm even teaching this shit. I don't like being a teacher. I don't like students. Grow up so you can beat me. Fuck.
And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check. Yeah. All right then. They play on your emotion, saying nothing well and playing on your emotion. Tell a person what they want to hear and say nothing well. You can say nothing if you can say it well. They play on your emotion. And that's the problem with our people. They have been teaching you what you wanted to hear and not what you really needed to hear because they didn't know what you really needed to hear. That's called the art of public speaking. They play on your emotion. So that's getting your emotion up to a certain level, and you thinking that's spiritual, that's emotionalism. They play on your emotion. And they'd come up and they would come into some stuff and they would be talking all this good stuff and people, yeah. But everybody's ignorant. You see what I'm saying? They play on your emotion. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Yeah. All right then.
Infuriating because if teacher gives us a test and fails me, nah, I'd be mad as fuck. Well, if you knew they failed you, and at the same time you had enough humility to really want to see where you're a piece of shit, where you're fucking up, then yeah, I could see why you'd be mad. That's not the case for most people here. Most people who are interested in spirituality, that's not the case. Many of them are rebelling against religion. And so anything that feels like rebellion against religion is correct. They don't want to be wrong about having rebelled against religion. No. Especially since they spent all that time telling religious people that they don't get it and looking down on them. Nah. They want someone to walk in, say, Bobby Hemmett. Oh, I know Bobby Hemmett too. Oh, we doing it together. We building. No. Most motherfuckers misunderstood Bobby Hemmett. Didn't do none of the research Bobby asked them to do. Just felt good hearing somebody say something that affirmed their rebellion against religion. Man, I'm getting better at not being overtly pissed. Teacher, I have a booger. Check. See, the real thing is you're supposed to have the booger. That's what they didn't want you to know. See, the booger is actually the part of you that's the key to manifest. Oh, yeah. Get that tissue away from me, Christian. You don't realize... Bro, get the fuck out of here, man. Nah, yeah, get that shit out your nose, bro. Get one of them little squeezy things for babies. If the conception of Brandon is conducive to physicalism, is the goal to destroy Brandon or find a way to reframe it? Lately, I feel as if my spiritual conception was based upon fragile ideologies. Well, it probably is based on fragile ideologies, but no, it's not. The problem isn't that it's based on Brandon. The problem, and this is a good question, the problem is that Brandon is based on physicalism. Brandon's not the issue. Because look, here, in Default Dead, Brandon's attention is focused on the physical body and the physical realm. That's his issue. Brandon can say, I'm more than the body. But when he conceptualizes the idea of Brandon, all he really has in his pocket is physical body. He can say other words, but when he tries to explain those words, he just reduces it to something physical. Like you'll hear some people say, the heart is the seat of the soul, right? And once again, I won't disagree with that. But what are we talking about? Because the heart is the center of where all the blood flows, and the blood flows to all of your body, and then it comes and it touches these four ventricles. See, that's really the four elements. And so the center of the four ventricles is the seat of the soul. That's pretty nice. I know I just made that up. What did I do? What was my argument? What I did there was I reduced that metaphysical concept to something physical. Brandon's issue isn't Brandon. It's how Brandon is framed. And Brandon is framed that way because of how you frame the rest of the world. Do you remember in The Matrix? I did another video on this one. You remember The Matrix when Neo was fighting Morpheus for the first time? Okay. And, Neo was excited. He's learned all these new things. And he learned them faster than he ever thought he could learn something, right? I know Kung Fu. Right? And look, I won't tell you he didn't know Kung Fu. That wasn't what he needed. That wasn't his issue. Like Morpheus, show me. Neo's issue wasn't his form. It wasn't the information that he had. It was how he was not only viewing himself, but the world around you. Why did I beat you? You're faster than me. Morpheus, do you think my muscles have anything to do with this world? You think that's air you're breathing? But what was the case? He did think it was air. Right? He knew for a fact. He could say it. We're in a computer program right now. But yet and still, the way, by default, that he frames the world made him, it drew him to other conclusions that he didn't even examine. Muscles? Breathing air? Is that what you think is happening here? That was Neo's problem. That's what I'm trying to point to y'all. Physical body, physical realm, none of those things are the spiritual stuff. Yeah, it's a wonderful metaphor to say that you are your ancestors because of DNA. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But it's not spiritual. It's not metaphysical. It's literally mystifying the mundane. Neo, do you think that's air you're breathing? And the problem is that he did. The problem is that he did. Every time y'all reduce this stuff to physical things, that's air you think you're breathing. No. Get away from the body. My body's not breathing air. Oh, God. I hate babies. I don't hate babies. I hate how they think. But that's only because I want them to think a different way. And not even for their benefit, for mine. Fine. Wonderful. There we go. The idea, the concept, you think that's air you're breathing. What that's pointing to is you're framing the world in little whizzy particles, right? That's the issue. So Brandon is not the problem. Brandon's metaphysics is the problem. See, if you look here, right? On the left, you got physicalism. This is where Brandon is framing everything based on the physical. That's a result of his metaphysics. The one on the right is fucking any other metaphysics. Like I'm so serious. What invokes that kind of conceptual shift? Because for Brandon, in his current state, that would be conceptual suicide. Yes! Yes! It would be conceptual suicide. It is not going to feel good. It is going to be terrifying. But it's what you got to do. See, these are the kinds of things the initiate would be put through. Oh, I had an ego death. I did mushrooms and I had an ego death. It didn't die. You let it go for a minute. It's not going to die. Conceptual suicide. You need it. In order to get to the place you want to go, you're going to need it. You're going to need to have done that. The initiation process is a death. Even in Christianity, you're supposed to be reborn in Christ, right? And most people just go through the motions. And that's what a lot of people are looking for. Teach me the motions. Because once I know the motions, then I'm doing it. No. Look, a kid can sit there with his mud pie doing the motions of cooking. That ain't cooking. Yes, it's conceptual suicide. The entire idea of what he thinks he is has to be reshaped. This is why there was initiation processes. There was a whole system set up to allow people to go through that process. There was guidance through that process. Now people want to self-initiate. Not to say you can't do it, but it's that much more difficult. It's conceptual suicide. Yeah. Going from materialism to anything else, yes, you're correct. You're absolutely correct. But it's so necessary. Because materialism is not conducive to spirituality or metaphysics. Because everything is physical. If everything is physical, there is no spiritual. See, that's the basic underlying framework of physicalism. Just like with bleach. If I want to culture some bacteria, I can't just do it in bleach. I could do it literally anywhere else. In a cup of water, in a cup of piss, on the wall, on the table, in coffee, in a boiling pit of sulfur. There's bacteria. Not in bleach. Not in bleach. I don't care how much you try and make bleach it's bleach. It's made not to do it. The particular metaphysics people are using today, culturally, is made not to be conducive with spirituality. This is why people in mass are rejecting religions and cultures. Because the metaphysics from the people who made those religions is not the one we use today. And so it doesn't fit. The same way penguins don't fit in the Egyptian pantheon. Not because penguins aren't spiritual, poor penguins, and cats are just, cats are really the spiritual thing. They're common in Homo sapien civilizations, so they're commonly used as a symbol. I'm so serious. Damn near any other metaphysics is going to be conducive to spirituality. But picking up a different metaphysics isn't just saying the words. It isn't just going through the motions. I know we want it to be because that's easy. Side ejects. And it's not just one death. It's a continual death. Look, yes. Yes. That's why that's all. I had an ego death. And that's why that's bullshit. It's more narcissistic pride. It's bullshit. You just let it go for a second. You didn't kill it. First of all, because you can't kill it. You don't need to kill it. Just like Brandon, you don't need to kill it. You need to reshape it. You need to reshape it. And I get that's what some people are trying to do by going through the motions, saying the new thing. We was kings. You're all gods. Okay, that's it. That's some nice motions to set you up to do the real thing. That's the mud pie, right? It's get you in the motions to start cooking one day. But it ain't cooking. It ain't cooking. Imagine that little mud pie motherfucker out here teaching. And it's just all kids. Yeah, we cooking. We cooking. Let them cook. Let them cook. Ain't what y'all say? Let them cook. That ain't cooking. We're not supposed to tell kids that mud pie ain't cooking. Man, please. So yeah, any other metaphysics is not going to be bleach in this respect. Why do I call it bleach? Because the framing of the metaphysics of physicalism, of materialism, it cuts out the you. It cuts out the you. It takes the life out of it. That's why you ask a physicist, the world seems like this lifeless mechanical thing. Why people like to reduce the body to a machine. Yeah, because they're physicalists. They routinely cut the life out of the description and then say, oh, look, it has no life. Right? God, I was going to get mad again. 2 examples, right? And you can look up a guy named Dr. John Lennox, and he'll give you his whole spill. Because look, I'm not telling you guys to be Christian, okay? I know you're really upset about that. You don't want to be Christian. No, not me. I'm Christian ain't real. Okay, cool, fine. You're good. Tastes like a lot of rebellion, but the Western world is inundated in Christianity. The language. Okay? We frame our thoughts in words. We frame our thoughts in words. And words exist in a system, a language, a lexicon, a logos. Like, bro, this shit could be so simple, but you have to understand the nature of your predicament. And the nature of your predicament is you stuck in physicalism. And you can't just add on to physicalism. You can't just add life into bleach. It's not going to work. And you won't know it's not going to work if every room you walk in, all you get is check, fire, facts, regardless of what you say. That ain't how science works. It's never been how science works. So yeah, you can look up Dr. John Lennox. And I always point you guys to other people besides me. Because I'm not telling you some secret hidden knowledge. Dr. John Lennox gives a wonderful example. And I'll try and replicate the example because I give this example a lot. Or at least I think I do it a lot. Anyways, there's water boiling in the kitchen. Why is there water boiling in the kitchen? Okay? That's what we're doing. We're answering the question, why is there water boiling in the kitchen? We're answering this question as an example of any question you could really ask. okay? And how the metaphysical framing of that dictates your understanding, okay? So, why is the water boiling? Let's ask Brandon on the left. Well, the heat from the propane flame underneath the metallic pot is exciting the water molecules within the pot, because the metallic pot is conducting the heat energy into the molecules. The molecules are vibrating so fast, in fact, that they go through a phase shift. They shift from liquid to gas. And when they shift to gas, the space between the molecules expands rapidly, and we call this boiling. It's not incorrect. That's the physicalist way of framing the world. Let's ask the Brandon on the right. Why is the water in the kitchen boiling? I wanted to make some tea. That first example, there is no you in there at all. As a matter of fact, it's necessarily removed. See, this is why you can't understand spirituality, trying to reduce it to these different artifacts of physicalism. Artifact of physicalism: atoms, subatomic particles, cells, melanin, magnetosphere, stardust. You're not going to understand the you in reality with that stuff, because those explanations are literally made to cut the you out. Brendan sounds like a fucking loser. Well, he might be, but I will implore you, do not put yourself above Brandon. Don't. Brandon's typical. And in order to really get a grasp of how typical you are, you need to embrace the Brandon. Really look at it. See, that's the shadow work shit. Shadow work isn't about getting rid of shadow. It's about reframing it, reshaping it, re-examining it. I'm so serious, bro. Don't put yourself above Brandon. And I can say it, but routinely that's what people are going to do. Because no one wants to think of themselves as a loser. No one wants to think of themselves as uncool, not smart. That's a shadow work shit. Boy, I love it, man. Mashanga, god of fire, excited Brahma, goddess of water, which caused Mashanga, god of egg, to harden in fear of her passion, versus I boiled an egg. That, Nitro, actually that's kind of how those old metaphysical systems would have framed the world. Say, okay, look, Mashanga, god of fire, is an Advent dancer. He dances all the time. Sometimes he dances with Rira, the goddess of earth. Sometimes he'll dance with Zephyr, the goddess of air. But when he dances with Brahma, the goddess of the water, their dance does a particular thing. And it fed the nations. This is why we make tea and boil eggs. And you're saying, and someone will say, well, those things aren't real. What is real? What does that mean? So you're just saying everything I imagine is slow down. You skipped over my question. What is real? What is true? What do those words mean? Where do they come from? How do you know? How do you know? What is real is an ontological question. How do you know is an epistemological question. First one here, ontology. Second one, epistemology. Third one, cosmology. See, now we're going to get into these proper, okay? Because most times, when you're introduced to a spiritual or religious framework, it's given to you in the form of a narrative, okay? Shot aside ejects. How do you kill yourself that many times without losing the value of you? Or is your value constantly being reshaped? I don't say it's constantly being reshaped, but you got to understand what the fuck a you is. It changes all the time. Look, it's already been doing that. You're not the you were when your body was 5. What about when it was 16? What about when it was 25? And that's only based on the idea of you framing the idea of you with just the body. Here, I'll start down here. Because you got to get what a you is, right? You got to get what a you is. A you is a component of a narrative. Well, what's the right narrative? You're trying to be right. You're trying to find what's real. You're trying to find what's true. That's going to be underneath the narrative. Right up here at the top. That sentence, that question, that's the third existential essential. See those 3 questions I showed you there at the beginning? This is the third one of them. This is where, you're introduced to narrative. Like I was saying, most religious systems, you're always taught the narrative first. Mostly because they're setting you up for the initiation process. For any of those who are going to be part of the select few, it sets you up for the initiation process. For the rest of the people, it allows them to frame the idea of the world. You need a narrative in order to have a you. The idea of a you, okay? Your you is experienced in a now. Your you is experienced in a now. So we got the you, and it's in a now. Like a little bird's egg in a nest. Okay? Little bird's egg is the you. Look at it, it grows and it develops. This you is in a now. But that now is framed with a past and a future. And so the whole community is given a narrative that has that past and the future to help frame their idea of a now. You're always taught the narrative first, especially as a child. Your participation in the world is now defined as well. Well, yeah, that's what the method part is. Yes, how you participate with these things. Why does a Christian drink the little juice and the little cracker? As part of their participation in the larger narrative of reality. Well, Christ did that with the 12 disciples, and when I do that, I'm participating in that larger story that Christ is part of. So Christianity's real? You missed what I said. We didn't even talk about what real means. We're talking about this you and a narrative first, because people are really obsessed with that. You want to figure out how to define yourself. That's perfectly fine. But a large part of how you define yourself is based on how you define the world. Well, how should I define the world? You want somebody to tell you what to do? No, not me. I never want anyone to tell me what to do. I can do it on my own. Okay, cool. It just sounded that way. This is why I started at the beginning. There's no right way to do it. It's context. See, these existential essentials, the answers to these 3 questions are what you use to build that frame. So what's the right answers? At this level of analysis, there is no such thing as right or wrong. So there isn't a right answer. The issue is that the answers to these questions are what you use, the substance of the idea of right or true or real. See, those are contextual. And the substance of that context is the answers to these questions. Shad, if I relate the you to my body, I'll be locked up in an insane asylum. Trust me. I was almost there once I started separating from you from the body. It became a little less harder. Because a lot of people will tell you guys to detach and disassociate. Don't. You're working against yourself. Look, you need to see the distinction that's already there. So much of this is not about doing some new thing. It's about re-examining what you're already doing, how you're already thinking. These two images, they're basically the same image, except on the right, Brandon is making distinctions that he's not making on the left. Brandon is making distinctions that he's not making on the left. That's your problem. With physicalism, you're not drawing any lines. You're just saying new words. But you're not looking at the underlying framework that you use to contextualize those words. In physicalism, the world is divided into objective and subjective, where what is objective is literal and real, and what is subjective is not real. And the only way anyone can make it real is just that everything is subjective. God. But that's the same thing you did with objective. Before, everything was objective. And now you just switch the sides. You missed the underlying framing. That dualism is what's killing you. Like metaphysics. I'm not saying something that has been hidden. Look. Peekaboo. Huh? Peekaboo. Oh my God, his eyes are gone. No. The reality of this stuff is not lost. If you don't know what you're looking at, though, you don't see nothing. And so you don't make any distinctions where you could. You're used to framing the world in terms of particles, atoms, humanity. Oh. I'm sorry. Look, I have my own problems, right? I'm not perfect. Yeah, she needs to be more Buddha-like if you're gonna teach. Fuck out of here. So, like I said before, I'm gonna keep telling you this. This is the key to understanding a framework. And the first thing you're gonna want to do is re-examine your own, as opposed to jump out here and think you can just examine anything. You really have to re-examine your own. Okay, so the first question is an ontological question. What is ontology? Ontology is the philosophical study of being. Oh, my being? What did you do? You just qualified being. I said it's the study of being, not my being. Slow down. Slow down. It's traditionally understood as a subdiscipline of metaphysics, very basic, focused on the most general features of reality, okay? Ontology is asking the questions about what are the fundamental categories of reality itself. Okay, see, no one has an ultimate answer on this. But what you can do, and has been done through different cultures over a millennia by the most intelligent people of the communities, what has been done is that different things have been postulated. Just like atoms and gravity have been postulated. Based on these postulations, based on these ideas put forward, these frames, models, you come to be able to define ideas such as true or real. Unicorns. Are unicorns real? It's not about whether or not you say yes or no. What framing did you use to come to that conclusion? Are unicorns real? It's not about whether or not you said yes or no. I'm interested in what framing you used to come to that conclusion. Are angels real? Are jinn real? Are golems real? Based on the underlying framing that you're using is going to determine whether or not that's a yes or no. First of all, if it's physicalism, none of that's real. None of that's real. Unicorns, angels, jinn, golems, all of that is not real in physicalism. Okay? Christianity, angels are real. In Islam, the jinn are real. In Judaism, golems are real. But then if you're a physicalist, you hear that and you say, if they're telling me it's real, you reduce it to physical. Because for a physicalist, what makes something real is that it's physical. Well, I mean, I'm not saying physical, I'm saying tangible. Ooh, I like that, right? Tangible. You can grasp it, you can touch it. That what you mean? Touch it with your physical body? Remember the algebra example. Excuse me, teacher, I don't quite see the connection. You don't see it. The equations are on the board. That's not what you're talking about. You're talking about being able to grasp the idea. I'm using my hand as a symbol. I'm not talking about grasp the idea. And for a physicalist, that's just a metaphor. Once again, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for being a physicalist. I'm not telling you it's not real. What I'm telling you is it's not conducive to spirituality. It's not conducive to metaphysics. Amar, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. So yeah, this work isn't about some new thing you need to be doing. It's about a very deep re-examining of what you've already been doing. And there's going to be plenty of deaths through it. Plenty. You better go ahead and get used to that. You imagine a lobster or a scorpion or a tarantula's first time shedding. Probably felt like, this is it. Everything's over. I am done with. But then it has to spend the rest of its life going through that process. Yeah. You're going to have plenty of them. And they're going to suck. Mark said transjective. You look at Dr. John Vervaeke. Because I'll tell you, bro, most of y'all are not interested in metaphysics. Metaphysics is a question of meaning of life. Most of you guys are interested in meaning in life. So you guys want to look at this guy, Dr. John Vervaeke, okay? He talks about meaning in life. He actually avoids making a metaphysical claim. But if you're actually interested in metaphysics, the other guy I'd like to point you guys to is Dr. Bernardo Kastrup. Why I like Bernardo Kastrup is he was an actual physicist. In a sense, like the way you guys will talk about dark matter, quantum this guy actually studies that stuff. Not only that, he's been into philosophy as well. Where's a picture of his face? He's got a YouTube. Let me show you a picture of his face so you can see his face so you'll recognize him when you see him. There we go. He's very fond of Carl Jung. Oh, Carl Jung, shut up. Oh, I know that. Yeah, I'm sure you think you know that. Shut up. Sorry, I'm being a dick. But Dr. John Vervaeke talks about the transjective. To put it in very simple terms, almost to the point of being incorrect, the transjective can be thought of as that which reconciles objective and subjective. So that's the problem with the objective-subjective divide, is that it can't reconcile itself. It goes back to Rene Descartes. It's again philosophy. He's known for the cogito ergo sum. That's Latin. He originally said it in French, but the English translation is something to the effect of I think, therefore I am. That goes back to Rene Descartes. All right? The entire lineage of physicalism that we have today starts with that. That's where, he basically inherited physicalism from that frame of thinking. Okay? And he died never being able to reconcile that. And people today can't reconcile it. It's what they call the mind-body problem. Yeah. See, but this stuff isn't hidden. It's not some secret hidden thing. What'll hide it from you is your ignorance. Your arrogance, too. See, once you're good at something, once you know something, then be arrogant. You have plenty of room to be arrogant. Look, we under the hood of a car, I'm not going to be arrogant. So, let's break this down, okay? This is the key. It took so long to get there. Well, why don't you pay for it? Why don't you pay for it? I'll go as fast as you want me to. Enjoy the freeness. Fuck you mean? Do some actual research. Just look. I looked up ontology and read the first 2 sentences. That's it. There's so much information on this that you could actually be exploring. I mentioned epistemology. You can look that up. Cosmology. You can look that up. Fucking cheap bastard. Anyway, excuse me. Cheap and impatient. Right? Sorry. Ontology. This is the first of these 3 questions, okay? Ontology asks questions like, what is reality? What are the fundamental categories of what is real? And how do those categories relate to one another? Okay? So when we're asking a question like, well, what is real? That's an ontological question. That's a philosophical question. What is real? See, that's not a question you're going to get from the scientific method. The natural sciences aren't worried about what is real. They're not interested in what is reality. They're interested in predicting its behavior. They're interested in predicting its behavior. You're in the woods in the dark one night, and in the shadows, You see glowing eyes and teeth. You're going to be more worried about predicting its behavior than figuring out, what the hell is that? You may say, what the hell is that? But only because I don't know what that is, so I'm scared. And you're going to want to predict its behavior. There's a difference between figuring out what the fuck something is and predicting its behavior. The natural sciences are predicting behavior. They're not telling you what the world is. That's what philosophy is for. Oh, God. In your interview with Trav, were you pointing to transjective when you guys talked about the objective subjective? To be quite honest, I don't even off the top of my head remember the interview. I really don't, so I can't tell you. If you got a timestamp, because if you're listening to it again, because I'm the only person who posted it. If you're listening to it again, if you do have a timestamp, I'll go back and specifically figure that out for you. Because I don't remember exactly what we said there. But during that interview, I was in rare form. God. I'm a piece of shit, man. The existential essentials. Reality at large. Okay? I'm going to give you 2 examples, and I use these examples in the Gill. Okay, so we're asking the question, what is reality at large? Okay? If we were to look at this from a Christian cosmology, why are you using Christianity? It's not real. Shut up. You know it. Okay? You're in the Western world speaking English. You're familiar with Christianity. I wasn't raised in the church. I didn't say you were raised in the church. I said you're familiar with Christianity. See, that's that rebellion. If we were to ask someone from a Christian cosmology, what is reality at large? Keeping the answer very simple, okay? What is reality at large? What are the fundamental categories of reality? Heaven, hell, and earth. These are the grounds of being. Anything else that's going to exist exists in context of those fundamental categories. Say it again. Anything else that's going to exist is going to exist in context of those fundamental categories. Anything else that's going to exist is going to exist in context of those fundamental categories. So, Christianity, heaven, hell, earth. The fundamental categories of reality. Here's another example. If we're talking about the game of chess, okay? The game of chess. I'm familiar with chess. It's not spooky, so you may not like it, right? I want something spookier. Whatever. The game of chess. What is reality at large? What is the ontology? It's that checker pattern game board. The game board itself is the grounds of being. Anything that exists in context of the game, anything that exists in the game is going to be on that board. All right? That's the ontology, the fundamental category. Could be very simple, okay? That's the first question you want to ask. What is the fundamental category? What is everything else existing in context of? He brought up only objective and subjective, and you pointed out the fallacy in dualism. Oh, okay, I probably just went into the way in which dualism doesn't reconcile itself. Because a lot of times people will start with just physical and then spiritual, and they've done the dualism again. Because you ask those kind of people, they'll say everything's subjective, which is basically just they shifted all their focus from objective to subjective without looking at the underlying framing. A dualism is not going to be able to reconcile itself. A dual metaphysics will not reconcile itself. That's why we have the mind-body problem. It needs to be at least threefold. It needs to be at least threefold. Where's the page? Boom. It needs to be at least threefold. This is why I start the Bookman model at 3. Instead of telling you a 10-fold metaphysics, tree of life. 11-fold metaphysics, clip off. They say you put the tree of life and the clip off together, that's 21. Where else you get 21? Tarot. Instead of telling you a 12-fold metaphysics, the zodiac. A 7-fold metaphysics, the chakras. I'm just gonna look, let's do 3 first, kiddo. Let's start at 3. If you get 3, I promise you, I can show you how to make it anything else. Look, if you get 3, I can tell you how. It's simple. That's what the Trinity is. I go over the Trinity. I have all the information. I've been talking about the Trinity for the longest. If you get 3, I can extrapolate the rest of it. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. But if you're one of those people who don't know when they don't know, and you're just going based on feelings, somebody give you that check, fire facts, we building, we're against the religious people, you go, eat that up. Let me play my video. And I'm going to get back to this. Aries, hurry up. How about fuck you and pay me? No? Because look, you want to get it on yourself? You want to get it by yourself and for free? Please, go ahead. Dig through those haystacks for the needle. Go do it by yourself. Here's a trick. You're really not doing it by yourself. You like to think you are. You read people's books, watching folks' videos. Trying to find everything you can do to do it for free. Because you want something for nothing. I love it. Don't tell me that, Aries. Whatever. Fuck you.
And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then. They play on your emotion. Saying nothing well and playing on your emotion. Tell a person what they want to hear and say nothing well. You can say nothing if you can say it well. They play on your emotion. And that's the problem with our people. They have been teaching you what you wanted to hear and not what you really needed to hear because they didn't know what you really needed to hear. That's called the art of public speaking. They play on your emotion. So that's getting your emotion up to a certain level, and you thinking that's spiritual, that's emotionalism. They play on your emotion. And they'd come up and they would come into some stuff and they would be talking all this good stuff and people, yeah. But everybody's ignorant. You see what I'm saying? They play on your emotion. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then.
This shit can be simple, guys. I'm so serious. It really can. That's why I can make so many videos with original content. I don't have to read you nobody's book. I ain't got to read you nobody's book. Because I know what I'm talking about. I can lay it out so many... Whatever. Right? Look, okay. Because when you get this, when you can get these 3 questions, it's not because I said it. This is why I implore y'all to do the research, and I don't want you to trust me. I know that's how you usually move. I want to find somebody I can trust so I know what to listen to. No. You need to cultivate your discernment. Don't even trust me. Please don't. First question. Ontology. The fundamental categories of reality. What is real? For a Christian, what is real is heaven, hell, and earth. That's the fundamentals of what is real. For the game of chess, what is real is that board. The whole reality of the game rests literally, upon that board. So there's your ontology. There's your at-large. You think you can't look up at-large, right? You think you can't look up at-large. It's an idiom. It's an idiom. Niggas don't know English. Look at that. At-large. You can look it up. Relating to her being a political representative who was elected. No, that's not the word. It's an idiom. Oh, those are examples of at-large of the sentence. Serves as an entire area rather than one of its subdivisions. Serves as an entire area. So this is an example of it. What is an idiom? An expression in the usage of language that is peculiar to itself. Peculiar. See, you read this, where that should throw you is, hey, maybe I could look up peculiar too. And you spend the next hour looking up different words. No, it's too much work. I know. Whatever. Give it to me free and quick and easy. Shut up. I'm a dick. I know, but I'm still pissed. Anyways, that's the first question. What is reality at large? What are the fundamental categories of reality? Someone's giving you a system, you should be able to... Okay, what are the fundamental categories of the system that is being talked about? Because like I said, usually you're given this whole thing in the form of a narrative. Like, you start learning Samkhya, right? I might have said the word wrong, because I don't speak Sanskrit. You start learning Samkhya. What do they start you with? The story of Shiv Shakti. What are they doing? They're giving you the fundamentals of the metaphysics. Shiv Shakti and their dance gives rise to creation. Look at that. 3 fundamental categories. But most people will just get caught up in the story. And if they know the story, then they really know what's going on. But why are they caught up in the story? Why is the story what they're really interested in? Talked about it. Because they're trying to frame or conceptualize that you. They need a story to do that. This is why people will jump on different stories. Because it allows them to fit that you right there at the now. It's just gonna be simple. This shit could be simple. Wish I could act smart. Fuck out of here. Alright, second question. Alright, this is an epistemological question. Epistemology is the study of knowledge, of knowing. What is knowledge? How do you know? What can be known? So specifically, that's what we're asking here. What can be known? So, what is reality in context of that at large? We go back to the Christian example. The at large. Heaven, hell, and earth. The fundamental categories. Well, the second question is asking, what can be known in context of that at large? Well, in heaven, what can be known is God and angels. In hell, what can be known is the devil and demons. Earth, what can be known? Man and woman. Once again, the answer to the question can get that much more complicated. But here, no, it doesn't need to be. Look, at large, heaven, in context of it, angels and God. There's a relationship between the atmosphere and the agents within it. So I give you the fundamental categories, the atmosphere, heaven, hell, earth, right? I give you what's in context of them. Angels and gods, the devils and demons, man and woman. Let's do the chessboard, right? Remember, the game of chess, what's the fundamental category? The chessboard, that checkerboard, right? What's the in context? What's the epistemology? What can be known? The pieces. Pawns, rooks, bishops, knight, king, queen, and either black or white. That's what exists in context of the board. It's simple. These are the underlying fundamentals. Now, Aries, why do I need to know these underlying fundamentals? Because those are the components of that narrative. You go to the Christian cosmology. Let's talk about the story of God creating the heavens and the earth in 7 days. Lucifer falling from heaven. Adam cast out of the Garden of Eden. Christ crucified and rising. Right? Not only did I just use all those components from the ontology and epistemology, remember, heaven, hell, earth, God and angels, the devil and demon, man and woman. The story is using all of those components. Not only did it do that, but that's the past. That whole, basically most of the Bible, is written in past tense. But the end is written in a future tense. This is called Revelations. Jesus and friend is coming back. They're going to have the horses, the trumpets, fire and brimstone, and we're going to get that 144 and bounce. Past, future. What does that do? It lets you frame a now. Because from that now, you can cultivate a you. Underneath the narrative are those fundamentals. Underneath the narrative are those fundamentals. See, the game of chess, there's not a narrative. What do you have? You have the rules of the game. That's the third question. What is the narrative or continuity? See, with the Christian cosmology, I gave you a narrative. With the chessboard, I'm giving you a continuity. The rules of the game. The rules of the game invoke the board and the pieces in context. They put all that together. There's your cosmology. Okay, here, let's look up cosmology too. Come on. Let's look up cosmology too. Around there is where you start going off about it. Episode 23. Here, let's do it. Why not, right? Let's check it out. View channel. Do. Oh, piece of shit. Let's see. 329.45.
The boundary of the game and the avatar in the game. Like, they may hint at the hardware, but the discussions of the user are nowhere. Like, it's not, when I say it, because I know I'm a piece of shit, I'm a dick, and it sounds like I'm being awful, I'm saying these people are bad. It's not the case. I'm literally saying, because this is so fundamental to what I love and I want to teach, is how to talk about this. And the thing is, the fundamental tools we have with materialism, with dualism, where you can't help but divide something into, well, is it objective or subjective? Well, is there only two choices? Ugh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I wasn't directed at you. I'm sorry. I'm talking to them. Um, it's not objective and subjective is dualism. As a philosopher, I can tell you, Descartes out of Europe. Okay, he already went down that path. That's where we get the practice of skepticism from Descartes. He came up with the I think it's called the ergo de sum. I think, therefore I am. That's who comes up with that idea. Okay, or at least the articulation of it in that format. I think, therefore I am. That was his results of dualism. And with dualism, when you only have two pieces, you can never reconcile it because this was his problem. Okay, if matter and mind are so paradoxically opposite, I guess you would say, diametrically. There's the word I wanted. Excuse me. If these two are so diametrically opposed to one another, how is it that they ever interact and form the experiences that we know and love? And he died never being able to reconcile it. And even today, no one reconciles it within the world of materialism. What they call it is the mind-body problem. And this is the thing. This is why it's so. This is why I think this part is so crucial, guys, because the ontology of materialism is creating its own biggest problem by postulating the separation of what they're calling subjective and objective. This is the killing of God. This is the untethering of yourself from the heaven. This is the stripping the meaning out of the container. This is why it feels like nothing means anything, nothing matters anymore, because you don't know how to connect it to the rest of the world. And that's what the third aspect, I talk about Trinity in the Bookman model. This is why the third aspect is always necessary to reconcile the dualism. Like for example, um, okay. Which is just the one you were talking about. You were talking about the Amazon model, with the warehouse in the darkness, and that being like subconscious, and conscious being like the flashlight, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So you have two so far. If you were going to look for the third person, if you're going to look for the third element, I would say you either look for it in the boxes, or I just ask who's holding the flashlight, because maybe in the
Yeah, bro, that was kind of a stray. I didn't mean. I was kind of flailing around. You hit somebody. Yeah, I was in rare form, guys. I was in rare form. I suggest go back and listen to the audio, because I go back through it. I don't because he didn't make the audio available. I think it was like, actually, after he did this one, I didn't see him release any more podcasts. But I go back, let you listen to it, and I have some commentary along the way. I check it out. But yeah, even there, I'm saying the same thing I'm saying here, guys. That dualism of mind and matter, objective, subjective, spirit and matter. All right, you can say that if you want to. You're not understanding. That's not going to be able to reconcile itself. Even if I say Shiva and Shakti, you have to have the third element. Otherwise, you don't know what you're talking about. Creation. There's even a Hindu school of thought called non-dualism. Guys, the dualism is killing you. That's the bleach. That's the bleach. The you is cut out. It's made not to have what you're looking for. It's literally made not to have that. Well, actually, good. Good to see you in the show. Welcome to the show. Hey, man, you got in here kind of late. Hey, it is what it is. Do what you do. You can always go back and listen to it. Anyway, so this is what you need to understand any framework, any system. And this, once again, it's not because I'm saying so. You can look up ontology. You can look up epistemology. You can look up cosmology. You have to understand these things before you can understand methodology. How do I make this practical? How do I apply this? How do you apply it? You mean, how do you make it methodological? What's the method? How do you participate? Right? The chess example. Let's say you have the double knight forward press as a technique, as a method. I don't know if that's an actual chess technique. It sounds like one, so I'm using it that way. See, when I do that, when I'm pontificating, I let you know. So that you can say, oh, yeah, okay. The double knight forward press as a technique, as an opening technique in your chess game. Okay? That's a methodology. That's an application. What's it resting on? What's underneath that? Underneath that technique, cosmology, they're the rules of the game. So that technique has to sit on top of the rules of the game. The rules of the game, what is that resting on? The ontology and epistemology. The board and the pieces. All of those are necessary before you can have a methodology. So most of you motherfuckers who are looking for practical this and that, I'm going to take you through this over and over and over. Because otherwise, what you're going to try to do is make this a methodology using physicalism. And you can't. You can't. You're going to want me to talk about the brain, 0 point energy, melanin, cell biology, human history. That's what you're going to want. Well, tell me about the planets aligning and no. You're going to want all these different artifacts of physicalism, and I'm not going to get into you. Because it's a metaphysics that's not conducive to what you're looking for. So not only do you not know what you're looking for, you don't even know what the fuck you've been using. Oh, I say, most of this ain't about finding some new thing. It's about re-examining what you've already been doing. This spiritual stuff, but you ask me, you never stop doing it. You've already been doing it. You need to re-examine what you're doing. Alice in Wonderland. Alice, little bitch ass, lost in the woods. Here come the Cheshire Cat, right? Coming and going, he might already been there, who knows. The Cheshire Cat appears. And Alice want to know how, she want to know how to get, she lost. And so she asks the Cheshire Cat, she's in chaos. She feels lost, right? She asks the Cheshire Cat, which way do I go? How do I know which way to go? And the Cheshire Cat, well, where are you trying to go? I don't know. Where you been? I don't know either. If you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you've been. What makes you think you need to know where you need to go? You might already be there, bitch. You only lost if you have somewhere you're trying to go, or there's somewhere you was coming from. You don't know where you're coming from or where the fuck you going. You're not lost. You feel lost. You just don't understand what's going on. That's different. You figure out what's going on, maybe you figure out, damn, I'm right where I need to be. See, it's easy to say all things happen for a reason. Right? It feels good. It feels motivating. Everybody love chaos till shit start fucking up. Then all of a sudden chaos is, oh no, it's not about the chaos and the darkness. I gotta get out of here. I hate y'all, man. I hate y'all. One more time. Let's go this again. Let's do it again. Because you want it for free, you don't want to pay, it's good. That's cool. Gotcha. Feeling lost is, cast a spell. Feeling lost is more a distraction than anything. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So all things don't happen for a reason. But I did not say that. I did not say that. Yes, all things happen for a reason. But see, that's applicable not just when you want it to be, when you don't. When you feel lost, when you feel like you're in chaos, when you don't know what the fuck is happening, that still applies. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that distraction, bruh. No, a lot of the feelings motherfuckers have is abstractions, to be completely honest. But if you're distracted, if you're focused on that feeling of being lost, because what you want to be paying attention to is what's going on around you. What do I understand? What do I not understand? Whatever the hell you say you understand, challenge that. Because you can't challenge what you don't understand. But there might be the reason that you don't understand is because what you're telling yourself you understand, you don't really understand. You can challenge that. Challenge what you think you understand. And as you gain more understanding of it, more knowledge of it in an appropriate sense, what you didn't understand reveals itself. Because it was your ignorance that was in the way. Like if someone get hit by a car or something, what is the reason for it? Is it because the physical world has its own narrative, what we actually want to happen? Yeah, it's got its own narrative. Look, the reason a motherfucker got hit by a car because the car hit him. Like, look, what you're asking me is a question about meaning. What does such and such mean? Like I remember one of my wife's friends, bro. This was so funny. She was sitting on the front porch of our house, and she dropped a bunch of change on the ground. She's like, oh my God, what does that mean? And I'm thinking to myself, bitch, it means you need a coin purse. Like, the fuck you're looking for a spiritual meaning in that. Not to say it can't. You're going to be able to understand the world and the meaning of things based on your understanding of your metaphysics. You're going to understand the meaning of things based on your understanding of your metaphysics. Two people in the Egyptian pantheon, right? One of them, he only knows a little bit about the pantheon. The other one, he's a priest. And so the one who knows a little bit, he sees a falcon or a hawk. Which one? No, Ra's a hawk, right? Or Horus is a hawk. He sees a hawk, and he goes to the other one and is like, what does it mean? How is he going to tell him what it means? Based on the metaphysics. Right? A Christian sees a rainbow in the sky. What does it mean? Where are they going to get the answer from? The metaphysics. Specifically, the cosmology. What happened after Noah and them got off the ark, right? What's in the sky? The symbol of the covenant. It could be so simple, bruh. I'm so serious. Bitch needed a change purse. Well, that's crazy. But why that person got picked to get hit by a car? Why wasn't it anyone else? Why would it need to be anybody else? What you mean why? See, the only reason you're going to ask why is because you think it should be somebody else. You think it should be something else. That's what's in your way. What you think shit should be. What you think shit should be. We live in a world where anything can happen. Anything can happen. If anything can happen, and out of every and anything could happen, what's happening right now is this? In no way it wasn't supposed to be. Anything could be happening, and this is happening. A bigger question, though, is what does it even mean for something to happen? God, I fucking love it. I wonder if it'll pop this video up. But see, bro, the biggest thing about this shit is a lot of y'all have not even begun to think about any of the stuff you need to think of for this. You get out here and you say the new words, and that's it. You say the new words. I put this one in the guild a long time ago. I don't know if I'll be finding it again. Fuck. Ah, here it is. The metaphysics of change. Is anything actually happening? Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. See, man, there are basic things that most of y'all haven't even begun to think about because you caught up in what you want. Most motherfuckers are in this shit to manifest. Oh, look at that. Look at, oh, baby, Hercules. I know Kung Fu, Morpheus. Shut up. I wish Morpheus would shut up. That's what Morpheus should have said to his ass. Cast the spell. Karma is inevitable. I don't think it's a symbol of good and bad, but more or less a cycle. It's likened to cause and effect, but it's a little more complicated than that. It is inevitable. How do I say this? What do I want to say? The same way we can have the idea in physics that energy is never created or destroyed, it just changes form. All right, that's the metaphysics of change. It's an element of change. It's like the friction or the residue of change. Like karma is an element of certain metaphysics. But most people in the West, what happens is they try to adopt a bunch of different ideas without the whole metaphysics. Like how pharmaceuticals try and take a piece of the plant without the whole plant. Yeah, it's a very Western thing to do. But yeah, it's part of metaphysics. There's so much that could come to play with that question. Maybe that question I got hit by a car, by my car, wasn't paying attention. There's so many reasons. Like, look, here's a pen, right? Why did that pen hit the table? You could say gravity, right? That's one answer. You could say because I dropped it. That's another answer. But there are infinitely many answers to that question. At a certain point, the answer to that question is every single thing before that moment. Because look, the pen, why did the pen hit the table? Because I was able to pick it up off the table and then drop it again. Because if the pen wasn't on the table, I couldn't have dropped it. So it couldn't have hit the table. So part of the reason it hit the table is because it was available for me to pick up and drop. Why was the pen available for me to pick up and drop? Because somebody created pens. Right, at a certain point, every single thing in the past is the explanation for the future. See, these are small things to think about. These are the small things. Metaphysics is philosophy. It's not about getting an answer. It's learning to ask questions. Because half of getting an answer is asking the appropriate question. Oh, who constructed that to happen for that a person getting hit by a car? Why did the pen hit the table? Should we take it back to the first car that was made? Maybe the first car was only made because of the first carriage and buggy. Maybe the first carriage and buggy was already made because of the first wagon and somebody was pushing or pulling a wagon. Should we take it all the way back to the wheel? When you're saying who constructed that to happen, you're pointing at a question about whether or not there's free will or determinism. It's a philosophical question. There's no definitive answer. There are a myriad of ways to approach the question, and you could find so many different approaches to it. but there's no definitive answer. A lot of times people treat the results of the scientific method as though they're definitive answers. Atoms are definitive. No. You can even ask the scientists. They'll tell you, no, they're theoretical. So there's no definitive answer. I would say that comes from the territory of crossing the street. Maybe, look, sometimes you stand in the yard, you ain't even go near the street. Hit your ass. Boy, was drunk as fuck, right? Look, I could be sitting in the house, in the kitchen, making a pot of tea. Boom. Motherfucker run into the house and smash me in the kitchen. Pause, no diddy. The car runs over me in the kitchen. But look, and look, based on the metaphysics alone, karma doesn't choose a person to dictate his out moves. It's more like, how do you participate in karma? But karma is based on certain cosmology. Yes, it's based on a certain metaphysics. So look, Christian cosmology. Why did he get hit by a car? God chose it. It was part of God's plan. God works in mysterious ways. A metaphysics with karma. Why did he get hit by the car? It was part of his karma. Physicalism. Why did he get hit by the car? Because the potential energy of the car's momentum was greater than his physical body's mass and capacity to stop the car in its forward movement. One of Newton's laws of thermodynamics, and thing in motion stays in motion, right? There you go. And so there's a myriad of ways. But how are they coming to answer those questions? So if you're asking that question, it's like you're looking for whether or not there's free will or determinism. Whether or not you're free to do whatever, or is something determining all this? These are metaphysical questions. And you have to have an intimate relationship with the metaphysics that you're using. And most people are using physicalism. You don't have to be initiated into a metaphysics, but that metaphysics you use is going to dictate the answer. This is why I give y'all these existential essentials. Because it's going to help point out the framing of the metaphysics you're using. Remember, Christianity, heaven, hell, earth. First question. Angels and God, devils and demon, man and woman. Second question. Third question. Gives you a narrative. God created the earth in 7 days. Lucifer falls. Adam gets kicked out. Christ rises. And Christ is coming back. Narrative, which serves as continuity. All of these are components to a metaphysics. And based on that metaphysics, how that metaphysics frames the world, you can answer questions like, well, why was it him that got hit by the car? It's very simple. It's very, like, I'm really interested in what I'm missing. Because to me, that's like astoundingly simple. Like, it's simple in a way that I don't understand how it can be more simple. But I'm going to keep trying. Oh, I'm going to keep trying. I'ma die trying. I'ma die trying. CeeLo Green. CeeLo Green, I love that song. Study says, cast a spell, agree, because if a Christian got hit by the car, they would say the devil did it. Look, right? You can say the devil did it, or you can say it's part of God's plan. And you can have a whole debate about that within the framing of that metaphysics. Within the framing of physicalist metaphysics, you could have a whole debate about it. Right? This is what I'm pointing to. You have to comprehend the framing you're using. Because it's going to dictate where you end up. Just like where you start dictates where you end. Same difference. Oh, Mr. Cheshire Cat, sir, which way should I go? Where you coming from? Where you going? I don't know. Oh. Maybe you ain't lost, bitch. Cue Drake song. What Drake song? Don't cue the Drake song. Kendrick might come in and whoop our ass. Nah, it's a little joke. I don't really know what's going on with that. I just know there's a beef. Society EJs. It's crazy. We had to clarify getting smashed in the kitchen was referenced being like right, man. Look. I don't know out here, man. Yeah, smash. Look, what the word smash means ain't what it meant when I was coming up. Well, actually, good. Is that free? Is what free will? Is what free will? There's even debates about whether or not free will and determinism are actually different things. Yeah. Look, I would highly suggest this video. You look, is anything actually happening? Right there. Also, because I'm always telling you guys about Bernardo Castro. He has a thing he talked about with free will, where he says they're the same thing. So, these questions, they're not only are they very big questions, they're perennial questions, which means people have been wrestling with the answers to these questions for millennia. So you're not going to get some concise, small, simple answer to these questions. As a matter of fact, questions like that are usually going to give you more questions, which isn't a bad thing, especially not in philosophy. But you got to understand what you're looking at. You got to understand what you're looking for. Who's free will? Sorry, I said pause too. Yeah, you got this idea of you and how it's nested or fit to the rest of the world. It's not, like I say, it's complicated, but there are details to it. Remember, look, the narrative or that continuity sits on top of the in context and at large, epistemology and ontology. Because if you have ontology, you're going to need epistemology. If you have ontology, you're going to need epistemology. They go hand in hand. And those are underneath that narrative. Aries, why are you telling me about a narrative? Aries, why are you telling... Shut up. Don't tell me about no narrative. Tell me what's real. But stop. Look, the framing for the idea of what is real, more than likely, you're looking for a narrative to understand it. Why? Because that you fits in a narrative. That you is understood through now. Aries, tell me how to summon a demon. This is boring. Good, I hope it's boring. What the fuck is a demon? Motherfuckers swear they running from Christianity, right? Furthest you go is the Goetia demons? Bruh, you in the same cosmology. You're not running from demon. You're not running from Christianity. You just went to a different side of it. You don't get out the objective-subjective dichotomy. You just went to the other side of it. Angel numbers? I'm not a Christian, I'm spiritual, and these are angel numbers. You even look at angelology? You want the demonology because it sounds spooky and cool. Well, I don't deal with anything angel. I'm all demon. All demon. Only deal with demons. Shut up. There's hierarchies of angels just like there's hierarchies of demons. Like, motherfuckers will run from Christianity and don't even actually look at it. Just like that scary monster in the darkness. All you see is teeth and glowing eyes and you ready to run. You didn't look at it. So it's a whole bunch of people with their own opinions based on their cosmology. Cosmology is the framing for how you describe or contextualize your perception. It's not just opinions. See, that's where the scientific method is good. The scientific method isn't so much telling you what the answer is. It'll show you what the answer can't be. That's why the mathematics is such a good thing. Because it can reveal to you what the answers can't be. It's like when I tell you guys, your metaphysics can't be singular or dual. Well, you can't tell me what to do, Aries. Well, but hold on, no. Like, there's a reason for that. That's why I start with a threefold metaphysics, because a monism and a dualism aren't going to work. It's going to have to be more complex than that. Otherwise, it's going to fold in under the weight of its or its lack of integrity, or it won't be able to say anything. Look, all is cup. That can be my metaphysics. It's a monism. It's a singular metaphysics. All is cup. Okay, I haven't really said anything though. Words, made a sentence, it's structurally correct sentence, but I'm not really saying anything. That's the problem with monism. It has to go further than that. And it can't stop at dualism, because then you're going to get a duality. Objective, subjective. Okay, wonderful. Objective, subjective. But how do they reconcile? Here's why you need at least three. Here's why I talk about the Trinity. So I want to know, how do I apply it in my day-to-day life? Nigga, what is a day-to-day life? Let me guess. A you in a narrative. That's what a day-to-day life is. A you in a narrative. Unless you understand the components that go into making that narrative, I can't tell you shit. Imagine trying to tell somebody a methodology for Christianity and they don't know about heaven, hell, angels, demons, and you're trying to tell them a methodology for Christianity. Imagine trying to explain to somebody an opening technique in chess, and they don't know what a rook is, what a knight is, what a pawn is. They don't even know about the checkered game board. Imagine trying to explain to them a methodology for chess. That's what I'm saying. If you don't know those fundamentals, explaining a methodology, not to say it's impossible, you're not going to understand. You may get what you want out of it, but you're not going to understand. Move that piece here, then move this piece here, and then move that piece there. Boom, you did it. You don't know how that works. You don't know why it works. I can tell you how to drive the car, right? But as soon as I make that clicking noise, you don't know what that is. Turn the steering wheel. Okay, you got it to do what you wanted it to do. Why does it do that? Well, because I want it to. No. Because it's my opinion. That's not the crux. It doesn't turn because you want it to. It turned because of the underlying mechanisms. And then it's got a smooth turn, right? That's that power steering. Yeah. See, I don't have to tell you about power steering to tell you how to drive a car. The difference between how to do something, how to apply it, and what the fuck is going on. Motherfuckers just want to manifest what they want, and they never question whether or not what they want is bullshit. I'm so serious, but so it's not just opinions, okay? Don't start with opinions in people. It's different cosmologies. Even a little deeper than that. Different metaphysics is what you're seeing. Different metaphysics. Same reality. Different metaphysics. Where's the other picture? Different metaphysics. Different frameworks of reality. Different frameworks of reality. It's not just people's opinion, because then what you've made primary is people and opinion. What's primary is the metaphysics. Because look, you know how when someone says, God is everyone and everything. If that's the case, there aren't even really people. So you can't make people and opinions primary there. Because it's just, even the opinion is God. So God's opinion of God is God. You see, you're not saying anything. That's why I fucking hate that shit. It's not people and their opinion that are primary. It's the metaphysics. It's the metaphysics. The framing, the underlying framing that's making the difference. I had a teacher who was born Calvinist and became Lutheran, and we had some pretty interesting discussions. Actually, he may have not been Calvinist, but grappled with it in German history. A bunch of different Christian denominations and angles of approach. It's not as simple as just saying, well, Christianity is not real. Did you examine what real means? Of course not. Of course not. Ugh. That's why I couldn't stop at animism. So many different ones to look, guys. Like philosophies of mind. You know, it's easy to say, oh, it's mind. Have you looked into philosophy of mind? It's easy to say this stuff is a science. Looked at philosophy of science? There's so much of it. And it's just here, bro. Oh my God. This shit ain't hidden. No, please, don't stop at animism. Please don't stop at animism. Because the issue people are going to have these days coming out of physicalism is that you're not going to be able to deny physicalism. In order to get out of it, you have to see what you're doing, how you're doing it. Like, once again, Bernardo Kastrup, he talks about animism and panpsychism. Because these are metaphysical frameworks. He's usually talking against panpsychism. I think animism may be a form of panpsychism. See, you have to look at the details, because otherwise what you're going to do is just tell me the right answer. What do you mean right? Part of an answer is the appropriate question. So you can't just give you the answer, because I have to give you the question at the same time. Where's my thing? Where's this thing? I love this from the poem. Alright, this is going to give me a copyright strike. But oh well, whatever the fuck, right? I'm not putting ads on here anyway.
Good to see you again, son.
Hello, Doctor.
Everything that follows is a result of what you see here.
Is there something you want to tell me?
I'm sorry, my responses are limited. You must ask the right questions.
Why did you call me?
I trust your judgment.
Normally these circumstances wouldn't require a homicide detective.
But then our interactions have never been entirely normal. Wouldn't you agree?
Got that right. Is there something you want to say to me?
I'm sorry. My responses are limited. You must ask the right questions.
Why would you kill yourself?
That, detective, is the right question. Program terminated.
Yeah, I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. But look, Will Smith, his character, he's talking to a hologram. Alright? What else I told you before? Physical world's holographic. No, I don't understand. What's that mean? What does that mean about me? Shut up. Look, part of getting the answer you're looking for is asking the appropriate question. And if you don't know how to ask appropriate questions, you're never going to get the answers you're looking for. That's what you get in philosophy. Philosophy is not about so much getting the right answer, it's about knowing how to ask questions. There's so much motherfuckers just have not even started on, but would like to claim to be advanced. In NASCAR, you're not a good driver because you're better than the audience. You're a good driver because you're better than the other motherfuckers driving. Beep, beep, bitches. y'all ass on a fucking track. Yep, I'm going to look up some Christian pantheons today. It's going to be fun. Yep, that's why I was confused with the Hindu information. My lack of understanding and not knowing how to look for fundamentals and framework. Messy business. Yeah, what you'll end up doing is just learning some new words and feeling impressed with words from a different language. Purushna? Not telling you it's wrong. But I'm telling you, I don't know that language. I don't know the socio-political, cultural context of that language. So it don't hit. It don't hit the way it was designed to hit. That's a bad bitch. You know what I'm talking about. Somebody who doesn't know English like that, maybe just learning English, I say that's a bad bitch. This motherfucker looking around for a dog. You just learning a word from another language ain't gonna cut it for you. I know it seems more mysterious, so it feels a certain way, but boy, I'm so serious. Yeah, check out, there's angelology, there's demonology, there are whole different sects of Christianity that have different perspectives on the underlying metaphysics. So I'm not gonna tell y'all you gotta get rid of Christianity. Most of y'all are deeply inundated in it. I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong for that. See, a lot of people, they base their teachings on the rebellion against Christianity. And as long as you come in the group and you tell them, hey, I'm against religion and Christianity too. Hey, welcome to the group, bro. Welcome to the group. Check. Nah, niggas in there capping. Talking about, I'm only deal with demons. I don't know nothing about an angel, bro. Still Christian. Fuck out of here. Yep, because if God is one in everything, that will throw away the whole crucifixion story. Will be no need for a mediator. Well, I think those are different debates the church have had as well. Because I remember there was, you can even ask Maestro about the Nicaea. It's like the question of whether or not Christ and the Creator are one and the same, or the relationship or the dynamic. You know, is Christ a creature of creation, or is he some element of the Father? The distinctions. And you'll have all these different schools of thought in these different systems. So it's par for the course, guys. It's par for the course. With all the white people look the same trope, I used to think that scientist was played by one of my senseis? You probably meant to say senseis. With all white people look the same trope, I used to think the scientist was played by... Like, you used to think scientists were just white people? No, I get that. I've had that when I was little. What does that even mean in your example of NASCAR? People who are driving the cars, who are on the track, who are doing the work, they're not advanced because they're better than the people at the audience. The dead people, the religious people. Those people didn't come to do that work. The person who's driving NASCAR is only good at it in comparison to the other motherfuckers on the track. And so if you're considering yourself advanced compared to people who don't do any of this, you're not advanced. You're not. If you're considering yourself advanced because, oh, everyone's equal and everyone's the same. Nah. That ain't how the race works. Oh, Anna Molly's here. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Neuroscience says the brain responds harder in your native language. Morning, y'all. There's a lot of stuff neuroscience says about the brain, which is very interesting stuff. Because look, your language is like the operating system for that piece of hardware. You know, and also there's a distinction between neurology and psychology. But within the world of physicalism, they're trying to eat that away. Just keep it in mind, guys. Good to see you in the chat, Anna Molly. So what does it even mean to be called angelic-like? Or someone reminds them of an angel. If it means anything, it means that the underlying metaphysics being used is a Christian cosmology. So whatever it means is based on that idea. So you trying to add reincarnation and karma into that? Those aren't parts of the Christian cosmology. They can have similarities. You can't switch those out. Just like you can't take the alternator from a Toyota and put it in a Ford. Like, it needs to be set up a certain way. It needs to be made to fit in that framework. It could be simple, guys. Hakeem Lamidi, welcome to the show. Even with Christianity, you still have to understand the linguistic and the philosophy governing it. Yes. There are so many different schools of thought. Philosophy of language, oh well. Also, guys, philosophy of language. Once again, I keep throwing you back into philosophy. You have to know how to think about your thinking. The process of self-initiation deeply shifts your methods and modes of thinking. You can't get through this and not examine that. I don't care how many new fancy words you have. What is the 0 point energy of the heart chakra? Shut up. What the fuck? But you can't say that to babies, right? Shit has been crazy but good. Okay. No, my sensei looked dead on that nigga. Okay, so you were saying sensei. No, bro, the image of white Jesus used to hit deep in so many different ways. So yeah, I know, I get it. We haven't even scratched the surface yet, Christianity-wise. Hell no. A lot of motherfuckers have not scratched the surface of Christianity, and they're ready to rebel against it. They haven't even scratched the surface of what religion does, and they're ready to rebel against it. Pick up a bunch of new words, some alien story, and then say, "Oh, I know the new secret knowledge." No, you're confused. So really there's nothing that's right or wrong. It's all just dependent on which cosmology you're already using naturally. No. At the level of analysis of those existential essentials, there's nothing. There's no such thing as right and wrong. Once these questions are answered, now you have the framing to start to make that distinction. Once the answers to these questions allow you the substance to make the framing for your lens. And once you have the lens, you can make that determination. Let's say it again. The answers to these questions, like I said, there's not a right or a wrong answer to these questions. This isn't grade school. The answers to these questions give you the substance to form your lens for your worldview. And that's going to determine whether or not something is right or wrong. What distinctions? What do you mean, what distinctions? You mean what is a distinction? Look, if you have a worldview, let's say this one is one that has reincarnation and this is just regular heaven and Christianity. The one with reincarnation is going to see a work done over many lifetimes. The one with just heaven is kind of YOLO. And so the work you're doing can't be extended over lifetimes because that's not part of the framework. They're making different distinction. Well, there's not a right or wrong answer to these questions. No. The answers to these questions give you the substance to start to have an idea of right and wrong. See, look, even if I said there's a right and a wrong answer to these questions, have you questioned whether or not you comprehend right? Wrong? What do those things mean? Like, well, let's say, what is real? What does real mean? What does true mean? You have to know those things before you can understand the answer. Hey, Aries, what's true? Let's say I gave you the answer, right? Let's say there was the answer and I gave you the answer, but you don't know what true means. You wouldn't even understand the answer. See, this is why the philosophical part is necessary before you can get these clean little concise answers y'all want. The details, my nigger. The details. You asked a lot of good questions. Join the guild. You can get a lot more details. Hey, man, let me try to tell folk, bro. Because look. Even if you don't want to, I don't want to spend no money. I'm broke. I ain't got no money. Cool. Bet you get that loud pack in the wings. It's cool. Even if you don't want to spend the money, this is the age of information. Do research. I even begin a little bit of it here for you. Spend a week learning about ontology. Not only can you look it up, you can look up definitions for ontology. Bro, it's just one fucking word. It's Wikipedia. But the Wikipedia will give you a bunch of different places to branch off your research. Bunch of different places to branch off your research. You can look up definitions for it in different dictionaries. There are videos galore. This is not something hidden. You want to do it all on your own and pay no one anything? You're completely free to. But you gotta do the digging. And it's not gonna be quick, and it's not gonna be easy. Like, think about kids that don't have parents in the world and have to grow up. Childhood don't just fly by. And it ain't easy. It's deeply scarring. Hell, I've seen people with parents who have terrible childhoods. You can do it on your own. You can get it by yourself. It's possible. But if you're not willing to do the research deeply, you're not going to get it. I'm so serious, bro. YOLO, for heaven's sake. What was that? This is why what is you is very important. It's deeper, yeah. Because people, you have to look at what the fuck a you is. It's my body. If that's the answer, if that's what a you is, your body, then what does that mean your framing of the world is? How you frame the world and how you frame yourself, inextricably connected. And if you think what you is your body, you may as well just stick with physicalism. Oh, piece of shit, man. I'm a piece of shit. YOLO for heaven, folks, and FOMO for reincarnation, folks. FOMO. Either way, you got to pick one. In my opinion, I think you are desperate trying to escape the cycle of rebirth. You're still a Christian trying to get to heaven. Okay, you got to pick one. Well, here. I wouldn't agree with that. It's not so much you have to pick one. It's that, because it's a subtlety there. It's like the difference between going to the grocery store with Google Maps, right? And you have the route with the expressway or the bike route. It's not so much that you have to pick one. It's that they're only conducive. They only work in respect of themselves. Like you could take half of the expressway route and then pick it up from there and then change over to a bike route. Yeah, like you could do that. But you can't try and do a bike route or a bike methodology on the expressway. It's just not going to work. You can't try and do the expressway methods on the subway. They're just not conducive. You could take the subway, get off, and then get on the expressway somewhere. Yeah, you can switch. You can switch over, but when you switch over, there's a different way the world is being framed. And so you're going to have to take account for that. There's a different angle of approach. And once again, these are all things I get into in the guild. Because I talk to you guys about the three paths of ascension. In the Western tradition, they're known as the right-hand path, the left-hand path, and the middle path. I call them the path of the child, path of the father, and path of the mother in the Bookman model. But look, your angle of approach determines the methodology. Look here, this is the easy one, right? I do this one all the time. Look, this is a picture of the mall. You got the upper level and the lower level. This is the fundamentals. The fundamentals don't change. But depending on how I'm approaching this territory, my methods are going to be different. Here's Forever 21, the bottom floor of Forever 21. And this is where I want to get to. Well, if I come in over here on the bottom floor of Belk, there's a particular method I have to use to get there. If I come in at, let's say this is the hot topic, right? If I start at the hot topic, maybe I work in the mall and I just got off of work and I'm at the hot topic because I work at the hot topic. There's a different methodology to get to that bottom level of Forever 21. I can't use the same methodology as somebody who's coming in through Belk. And say I'm on the second floor of Forever 21 and I need to get to the first floor. I'm not going to use the methodology of those other two people. The mall doesn't change. You, in relationship to the scenario, is what's changed. That's what's different. So that's about your angle of approach. But sometimes along the line, because it's not about picking just one angle of approach, you can change things halfway through. I can go halfway through this expressway method and decide I'm getting off at the expressway here. There's traffic on the expressway. And now I'm going to take the bus and the train. So now the whole path changed. I didn't have to change where I start or where I ended, but I had to change my approach. So this is why I'm telling you all about the fundamental framing that's underlying all the different stuff, because that's what's going to answer all the questions. That's what's going to answer all the questions. Oh my God, I love it. See, I actually love the topic. So there's nobody that doesn't pick any of them. Yes, you cannot pick none. That's still picking one. The path of no path. I have no path. No path is still a path. Fuck you mean? You're already nesting yourself in one. If you have a you, if there's a you, what do we say? What did I say to you? Come on, look, come on. If there's a you, that you is nested in a narrative. If there's a narrative, that narrative is composed of fundamental pieces. You can't help but do it. So you got to stop focus on you. Because otherwise you're not going to be able to see the underlying framework. You're going to try and base everything on you. If I'm teaching you about a car, I'm teaching you about the power steering fluid, the transmission gear, the head gasket, the fuel pump. And as you listen to me tell you about those things, your question is, okay, well, how do I use that to drive the car to the movie theater? That's a whole different conversation. You might not even need to know any of what I'm telling you just to do what you want to do. But I can tell you like this. You drive that car to the movie theater and start hearing that click, 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 click. You had to bring your ass back to me because you didn't understand the fundamentals. You just know it ain't doing what I wanted to do. I don't get what I want from it. Make it different. See, that's babies. That's for babies. And then you want it for free and all by yourself? What? Let's stop. Put a baby in the jungle by himself. That Tarzan shit is fucking Disney. Okay, well, it's not Disney. The story's older than that, but what I'm saying is it's fictional, okay? That ain't how shit work. Romulus and Remus, some wolves just gonna walk up and take your ass. No. Baby gonna die. That little bird don't have that nest, baby gonna die. So, look, these initiation processes used to have guidance, structure, framework. And everyone's rebelling against that. Everyone's rejecting that. I know what I need to know. I know what's useful and appropriate. Bitch, please. Fuck it. Let me not call you a bitch. I'll call you a baby. Excuse me. I'm sorry. You fucking baby. Because I feel like a very complex person. Everybody feels like a very complex person. So you're the same as everybody else in that respect. Look, like I said, the questions y'all are asking, it's not that they're bad questions. It's that the answer to them is huge. It's not definitive, concise, and small like you're looking for. It's huge. These questions are old, been asked for millennia. And I stand on the shoulders of giants. I tell y'all this all the time. That the shit I talk about is not some hidden secret. There's plenty of information on this. These things have been talked about for a long time and for many people. It's just a matter of doing some of the research, dealing with your own ignorance. If you want it for free and on your own, it's going to take that much longer. Necessarily. If you want to learn to cook by yourself, go ahead, you can do it. But if you go to culinary school, it doesn't take as long. It's more concise. Someone set up what you need to know based on the information. And if you don't believe what I'm telling you is the information, look up metaphysics. Like I give you all the tools to look up metaphysics. Well, no, I ain't got the time for that. Well, you probably ain't got the time to do none of this. Look, you say that shit to yourself a year from now. You could have started it a year ago. Why stop, man? You're killing me, right? Look. I know what my framework is, more like reincarnation. You either one or done or multiple, right? What's the third option? Because these things blend. There's not necessarily a hard line between them. Just like the difference between taking the expressway, riding your bike, or walking, or taking the subway. There's not necessarily hard lines between them. Okay? You can take a certain amount on the subway, on the expressway, right? Right to a certain exit, get off, and then get on the subway. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. As a matter of fact, more than likely throughout your life, you'll end up doing that. But the issue comes along when you have to take the subway, but you're trying to apply expressway rules to it. That's where things go wrong. That's where things go wrong. You have to be able to recognize the difference between the expressway and the subway. That way, when you're doing either of those angles of approach, you know how to be conducive to that environment. It's not even that difficult. But a lot of people, they get caught up in the rebellion and they don't catch the details. But when you're initiated into a system, when you have the guidance of a master, they give you the details. They make it their responsibility to check whether or not you're staying on course. Like a parent with a child. They make the child their responsibility. And when the parent doesn't, we call them bad parents. When the parent lets the child do whatever the fuck they want, we call them a bad parent. When a parent doesn't correct the child ever, we call them a bad parent. Well, I don't know I don't know you anything, child. We all got our own life. Bad parent. Oh shit. But the kid gonna be mad when you correct him, but you got to. Because there's shit they don't understand, But it's alright, y'all go ahead and do it. I'm doing whatever I want to. Nah, okay, cool, bro. It's fine. I guess you could also just not believe anything, maybe, I don't know. Then you're not going anywhere. I don't even think it's possible not to believe anything. But you can try you can bullshit yourself into thinking that. There's a lot of people who do that. Who try and just ignore the question altogether. And there are many people who, even if they have like a little bit of a spiritual framework, they try and ignore the hard questions completely. Because for them, it's mostly about feeling good, feeling included, because they felt rejected after they didn't agree with religion. But then they found a new group and they feel included. And that's what it's about for them. And, fair play. Kid goes kindergarten, they want to feel included. They don't want to just learn shapes and colors. They want to make friends and play on the playground together. And, fair play. I'm just not going to tell that little motherfucker this is college. No, that's kindergarten. That's a mud pie. You are not baking. Let him cook! He's not cooking. Piece of shit. Oh, the details, bro. Christianity doesn't have reincarnation in their framework. So you just, and I'm like, that's good because you got to get the car started first before you plan on getting anywhere. Yeah. Well, you think, how do I start? How does the car start? One answer is just turn the key. Another answer talks about all those fundamentals and how the key even makes a difference at all. Because look, if the only way a person knows the car starts from the key, they're like, well, why do I even have to put the key in the hole anyways? I have the key. Why don't it just start? It's like the generation of kids now where you push a little button on the key and the car starts. Oh my God. When I get asked what religion do I believe in, I always say I believe in whatever system works for that person. Roll with it. That's what everybody says. That's what everybody who doesn't want to have to be scrutinized. Like, bruh, it's understandable in the sense that it's intelligible. It's understandable in the sense that a lot of people say it. But it doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't really mean. It's basically I believe whatever I want to be the case. And that's what'll fuck people up. And understanding how any of this works or ever developing to a place where you can teach. Because I believe what I want, or I believe, like, how do you know what works? Once again, a kid can be out there mud pieing, right? Mud pieing. They'll never develop to a place where they can cook because what they've been doing, they just say, this works for me. And no one can tell them otherwise. No one can tell that kid, hey, that's not actually working. Shut up, I know it works for me. Put some more leaves and some dirt in that thing. Like, that's how science works. There have to be lines drawn. You have to go back and forth. Some peer review. Is that not the case? I can't believe in whatever I want. I thought there was no right and wrong. I did not say there's no right and wrong. I said y'all motherfuckers don't understand what right means. Like the idea that everyone is right is wrong. Because right and wrong exist together. They cannot exist separate of one another. Up can't exist separate from down. Tall can't exist separate from short. In can't exist separate from out. See, that's basic stuff. That's basic stuff. That's basic stuff. So I'm never going to tell you there's no such thing as right and wrong. There is. What you're referring to, existential essentials. These are the basics. The answers to these questions form the framing we use to determine right and wrong. The answers to these questions are the frame or the substance for the framework that we use to determine right and wrong. You can look, you're always free to do whatever you want to do. You're just not free from the consequences of it. I cannot stress that enough. You're free to do what you want to do. You're not free from the consequences of it. Because if it was as simple as, well, you can just believe what you want, you could have stayed with Christianity. But you didn't, so why didn't you? Because there are certain constraints on how you're thinking. There are certain lines you're drawing. See, it's not just everything is everything. No, you drew certain lines. Why did you draw those lines? What's informing why you drew the line where you drew the line? See, like I said, if you got a you, there's a narrative you're using, and there are underlying fundamentals. Everyone has a metaphysics. See, where you're looking at those old spiritual systems, they were made in the context of that community. Not in the context that other people out there with other frameworks. No. These people. It's only in recent millennia that these things are coming together, mixing. And usually what happened when they first started mixing? They'd war. Bobby Hemming said this shit is over. He's talking about the age of the warring gods. They don't need to war with one another. Some of them still do. That's what they're made for, some of them. But you don't have to. All these things are mixing in ways they never mixed before. And it has nothing to do with humanity. Humanity is just one mechanism through which these things express themselves. Even without a single Homo sapien on the planet, this dynamic still exists. Even without a planet in this solar system, the dynamic still exists. Even without a galaxy in this particular space-time continuum, these dynamics still exist. Motherfuckers be caught up in humanity, bro. So it's not that there's no right and wrong. Right and wrong are contingent upon one another. You're not going to get one without the other. That's why I don't like people who say, I want everyone to win. You don't know what a win is. I just want everybody to win. You don't know what a win is. If there's no possibility of loss, ain't no win. If ain't no possibility of loss, ain't no win. If ain't no possibility of wrong, ain't no right. See, motherfuckers is quick to take the side of, well, we're all right. If everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. I can't stress it enough, bro. I mean, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. But see, what it is a philosophical question. What's it going to be? That's methodological. That's scientific method shit. Predicting behavior. Two different conversations. Catalytic converter and power steering fluid. How do I drive the car to Kroger? Two different conversations. What is the story of Adam and Eve and what were the difference between the tree of life and the tree of knowledge? Versus how do I participate in communion? Two different conversations. This is why I'm going to keep pointing you to philosophy. This is why I'm going to keep imploring that you do the research. And I will continue to remind you, yeah, you can do this without me. Yeah, you can do this without paying me a single cent and without having anybody help you. Yeah, you can do it. But I'm not going to give you no illusions that it's going to make it easier. There's so much detail that goes into this self-initiation thing that motherfuckers don't see and can't see because they're so deeply devoted to rebelling. to being special and unique. I'm such a complex person. I have a unique experience. No one in here is really going to understand my experience areas. You know, I might just have a unique and complex situation. It's just a little more nuanced. No. Don't reject Brandon. Look and see how typical you are. Oh my God. Can you speak on people being hung up on their old car and they keep trying to fix it and waste time and money, and the method is rusty bucket of bolts that is holding them back? What is the car in this analogy? Can you speak on people hung up on their old car and they keep trying to fix it and waste time and money, and the method is a rusty bucket of bolts that is holding them back? Okay. Look, and I think this gets into why I talk to you guys about the nature of your predicament and actually letting go of materialism. Like trying to define the world based on when you're looking to see what the world is, trying to frame it based on things like atoms, cells, all right, and in the artifacts of physics and biology, trying to frame the world that way is that old car. It's not really going to get you where you want to go. I know you can keep trying. You can keep messing with it. You can tinker with it. That Model T Ford ain't cutting it. Like the old methods they were giving up. They won't give up. They keep trying to make it work. Scientific method. Or some people will take their old religious framing, their old religious ideas. And instead of actually questioning their metaphysics, they just turn God into, just kind of erase it, higher self. And the devil is really the lower self. Right? Just putting new paint on that old car. The God is really the brain and the pineal, and the devil is really the root chakra down near your penis, right? Or if you don't have a penis, maybe your vagina. We'll just say the anus. Everybody's got one of those. Yeah, everybody's got one of those. I'm sorry, it's 2025 now. You gotta check. I think everyone's got one of those. Why people get so hung up? It doesn't run, bro. Well, yeah, it's like one of those situations where, let's say you're uncomfortable in your life, but you don't want to have to get up and change anything. So what you'll do is find different ways to reaffirm yourself that you are comfortable. And you'll get used to telling yourself, hey, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. When really you're just bent up in this weird space. It feels like you've gained so much ground. You've come so far. You don't want to lose any of that. That's what a lot of people do with the spiritual work too. They learn so many words. They've heard so many new ideas. And they don't want to lose any of that. Just show me how to put it all together. Please. No. You got to let go of some of that. Because you don't even know what you got. You don't even know what you're holding. You don't even know how none of that go together. And you trying to put it on that? No. You trying to mix DNA and soul? It's not going to work. Mitochondria metabolism and metaphysics? No. You don't know what this stuff is. The bush has to be pruned back. And so motherfuckers want to hold on to what they have because the idea that I've been wrong for a long time is harder to swallow than, hey, maybe I just need a little bit more. I'm almost there. I'm like, no, bro, you're like in the completely wrong direction. You should have gone east like 100 miles ago. You went west, and like continuing to go west ain't gonna get you there. Well, if it's a sphere, I can just go all the way around. Bro, that's like another 1,000,000 miles in the wrong direction just to not have to change direction. It don't work. You cannot take materialism, physicalism, atoms and particles. I don't care if it's quantum. I don't care if it's dark matter. Oh, dark matter. Motherfuckers don't know what dark matter is. They don't know what that word. They don't know what that word means. It's invoking a particular framing of reality. It's not metaphysical. It's not spiritual. You can't take that stuff. You cannot take bleach and cultivate life. It's literally made not to do that. You can cultivate life anywhere else, but you can't do it in bleach. Ugh. Okay, so a combo of sunk cost fallacy and the gaslighting themselves. Ooh, yes. Yeah. And you see, also throw on top of that, that there's the desire to be somebody who sees the world. Because a lot of people, they're also rebelling against religion. And so the idea is these religious people don't know the truth. They don't get the reality. They're dead. Right? And so, because I mean, you tell somebody, oh, everything is God, and so now I'm enlightened because I know this. No. You're just coming from a metaphysics that doesn't even have anything like that. And so you're impressed by it. So a lot of people they have the sunk cost fallacy and the gaslighting themselves, and that gets them up to this place where it's all really pride. And so they don't even see the levels underneath that's sitting on there. That's what the shadow work gets you to. Like, this stuff is not difficult. The difficult part is letting go of the old shit. Letting go of what you think you know. Really questioning how you think. And it's only really hard when you first start. Like wiping your ass. It's only hard when you first start. Like learning to drive. It's only hard when you first start. Riding a bike. It's only hard when you first start. New job. It's only hard when you first start. But nobody wants to go through that first start part. They don't want to go through the hard part. They don't want to go through the long, drawn-out process. Give me the spark notes. Give me the shortcut. Give me the cheat code. Guys, look up ontology, look up epistemology, look up metaphysics, look up cosmology. And don't just look up a definition. Compare a few. Look at some of the people who have talked about it. There's videos on all this stuff. There's lectures on all of this. It's not hidden. This stuff is more than learning some new words and a new story. This is more than figuring out how to get what you want. How do I manifest things? Well, motherfucker, how are you manifest already? What is you? I'm so serious, guys. It feels uncomfortable, and that is a big prison for so many people. Too comfortable in their dirty diapers. Yeah, boy, baby, be comfortable in that shit. Be chilling. So caught up in what it want to do. It's like, no, I'm not chafed. I'm good. Yeah, it's just gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna consistently be uncomfortable. That rebirth, that death, is gonna come over and over and over and over again. And you're going to experience it more than most anyone else you know. Because most everybody else is in the audience. Only a few people are down there on the track driving the cars. See, some of the motherfuckers on the track just to help the motherfuckers who are driving the cars. Even fewer are down there driving the car, doing the work. You can't expect the audience to help. Yeah, a few people who are down there on the track might help, but they're only helping so much. They're doing maintenance. They can't drive it for you. Bruh, this shit could be easy. But I love the subject, so I don't mind. Alright, guys, 3.5 hours talking about this shit. I'm gonna have a good day. If you're in the guild, we got office hours later. Please, if you haven't paid, stop by. Ask a dumb question. Trust me, you wouldn't be the first person to do it. Come on. I don't want to do it if I'm the first person to do it. I'm gonna look dumb. I don't want to look like Brandon. Brandon is beautiful. That lovely mug. All right, y'all.